Hey guys. So today was interesting. Today was interesting. All right. So um I had war with someone today because I knew they were stubborn, but I didn't know the degree in which they're stubborn, and boy did I find out today. All right. Boy did I find out. It's never going to stop amazing me how people will have loyalty to people who hate them, but those same people have power over them and will tell them the sun is not actually in the sky. It appears to be, but it's actually in the ocean. And people, because of who it came from, they believe it. That's right, that's right, that's right. Even though every evidence, every report, every Wikipedia, every encyclopedia, everything says contrary, because these individuals told them it's got to be right, and I'm going to listen without question. I don't do that. I don't follow what people say. I follow what I see. Okay, that's the difference between myself and a lot of people. They go by what the fuck they were told, and I go by what the hell I see to the contrary. All right. So he was having this discussion with someone else, and I should have stayed out of it. I should have just played with my phone to distract myself or did something to stay the hell out of the conversation, because I know how idiotic people can get. So he and another friend were discussing that. All right, that the and there is scientific proof everywhere of the complications of that. People who left the world because of it. People who had severe cardiac issues as a result of it. I mean, people who have routinely had miscarriages as a result of it. People have just dropped and there wasn't a goddamn thing wrong with them. No, zero health problems, no complications, no symptomology, and they just and then when you look at the autopsy report, there's a list about that long of things that were wrong with them as a result of that. But because this person is an obedient sheep, they argued that, well, every doctor told you it's related to that, I would get a second opinion. I said, this type of symptomology and complications has happened across the entire country. It's not a matter of getting another doctor's opinion. And you know what that fool said? And we used to be tight. I don't know where we're going to stand from here on out, because anyway, he had the nerve to tell me, do you have a medical degree? And I was so thrown by that, because that was such an asinine question. Asinine. So it took me back at first. And then I got to turn this on because I'm dying. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Way, way better. Do you have a medical degree? No, but I listen to the people who do have a medical degree. And eventually the person stormed off, because if this person is told by people who hate them, this is how life is, and that's what we said, we told you. Okay, I obey. I understand. Yes, 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 yes. God himself can come down and say, none of that's right. And that person will argue with God. I'm not kidding. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. So, stormed off, came back from his little fit, and didn't say nothing else to me. Come to find out, he's also had arguments with another person over the same topic, and that person's dad died after that, and going to argue to the death anyway, even though his dad died from it. And he also argued in front of another friend of ours who witnessed the whole thing. And she didn't say this in front of me, but she said it in front of another guy that we know, because he told me. She said, I didn't realize, the person I had a falling out with, she told the other guy, not in front of me, like I said, I didn't realize he was such a fucking asshole. When he told me that, I was like, she said that? He said, oh yeah. And then he proceeded to tell me, I've had fallings out with him too because he's stubborn as a mule. I said, oh really? So this is how it goes. If multiple people have had a problem with you, they're not the problem, you are. Because you're the common denominator. You're the common denominator. Now, there's caveats to that. I used to have falling outs with my so-called family. Because they're psychologically bent, and I don't speak to them no more. Because I'm the only one who has logic and they don't. So all y'all can have problems with me, and you will have problems with me from now until, because you talking stupid and I'm not going to listen to it. You either talk to me like you got some goddamn sense or get the fuck out my face. They're never going to talk like they have sense because they're all in the head. Now, my brother has issues, but I love him. My love for him is never going to change. And we're capable of having a normal conversation, although sometimes he has, in the middle of a conversation, gone off to left field and I have to gently bring him back. Okay? Wow. 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 So let's talk about my ears and what is possibly going on with me in addition to the ears. Oh, Lord. So, as you know, I've had a history of tumors. I have had a history of tumor in my spine. I don't know exactly the type of tumor. I just know it was making my life an absolute living hell. I also know that it was stopping me from walking properly. I had to use crutches. Anyway, so I had tumors in my uterus, a ton. Doctor told me there were so many they could not count them all in my uterus, okay? So you had all those. I've had these in my ears, tumors in my ears all my life. Tumor in my spine, tumors in my uterus. And so and then if you also notice, I put makeup down here, a little bit of makeup, not much, put a little bit. But if you notice on my forehead, I also have discoloration of my skin. All right. So my PA called me today, physician's assistant. She called me today. She's smart as a whip. She's smart as a whip. Smart. She doesn't just listen to what you say frivolously. She makes a mental note of what you say, which is what a good medical professional does, right? They don't just hear the patient say, well, yeah, I got a history of that. And they go, oh, yeah, that's nice. Anyway, some medical people are done that way, but she's smart as hell. And she made a mental note of what I said. She said, we're going, in the beginning, when I first went to her, she said, we're going to take sample. It looks like it could be skin tags, but we're going to send them to the lab to see what they are. Took the sample to the lab, found out that it was tumors, and then proceeded to treat from now on. But then she called me today because apparently she had a conversation with someone else, and also they're doing a study. She said you had a history. She called me today, or called me personally. They don't usually call you. They have the nurse call or whatever. You know what I mean? She called me personally, which I thought was cool. And I thought she was following up on my procedure. How are you doing? So I just automatically started telling her. I said, well, the bleeding has slowed down a lot. I mean, it's like not bleeding anymore. And bear with me. Oh, okay. It's kind of surprising. And it's not official yet, so I gotta see how it goes. But, whew, bear with me. I don't know what I'm getting emotional for. It's not official yet. It hasn't been, but it makes a lot of sense. Bear with me. So, when she called, I automatically started telling her, because I thought that's why she's calling me. I said, the bleeding has stopped. Because I called them and told them I was bleeding, you know, whatever. I said, bleeding has stopped. I looked in there with my phone camera and it looks good, and, you know, the whole bit. That's not why she called, although I'm sure, you know, she wanted to know how I was doing, but still. All right, so she said, tell me, you said you had tumors before, right? I said, yeah. Where was it? I said, I've had them in my uterus, and I also had one in my spine. She said, was that taken care of? I said, yes. And she said, do you have just discoloration in your skin? I said, yes. She said, lighter or darker? I said, lighter. So part of my, these are called Galeys, African Galey. Part of my Galey, I don't know if you could see up here, but there's like a whole lot of discoloration up in here, light, where the skin's lighter. That happened probably couple years ago maybe, and I noticed it, right? And I was like, that's odd, but I never gave it a second thought. Well, she's putting two and two together, and she said, there's a possibility that this is that you have tuberous sclerosis. Okay, so even though someone's not someone is not, that's not their area of expertise, like they do dermatologies, right? But there's certain skin conditions and body conditions that can lead to other things. And she was talking to a lady that I guess she's conducting a study on TSC. Sometimes it's called tuberous sclerosis complex. Sometimes I'll tell you more about it in a minute, but it isn't normal for your body to just start making tumors, boing boing boing, you know. I haven't had any real symptoms other than the skin discoloration and the multiple areas of my body that have had tumors. So she said there's a possibility you have that. We can either get you involved in the study, but I don't know if your insurance will cover it, or we could have you go to ENT first, and we'll see what they say. ENT is how do you say it? Oh, I used to know what that's called. What? What is it called? I'm trying to remember, but my brain is not working. ENT. They're ear, nose, and throat, but there's also otolaryngologist. I don't know. No, I don't think that's it. What is it? Okay, hold on. It's ear, nose, and throat, but God dang it. Sometimes I'm good. Otolaryngologist. Yes. That's the formal title of an ENT, ear, nose, and throat specialist. Part of my brain kicked in. Yay. All right, so let's talk about what I might have. We won't know until sometimes an MRI has to be done. Sometimes a CAT scan has to be done to find out if there's tumors anywhere else. The tumors, your body can continue to make tumors and can make tumors in the eyes, which are ocular tumors, in the brain, in the kidneys. So, yeah. So let's talk about it. Tuberous sclerosis complex is a rare, multi-symptom, autosomal dominant genetic disease. I don't know what autosomal is. Okay. For those of you that are into medical, you'll understand this. This is above my knowledge of such things, but in genetics, dominance is the phenomenon of one variant or allele of a gene on a chromosome masking or overriding the effect of a different variant of the same gene. So, okay. The genetic disease that causes non-cancerous tumors to grow in the brain and on other vital organs such as the kidneys, heart, liver, eyes, lungs, and skin. A combination of symptoms may include seizures, intellectual disability, developmental delay, behavioral problems, skin abnormalities, lung disease, and kidney disease. TSC is caused by a mutation of either of two genes, TSC1 and TSC2, which code for the proteins hamartin and tuberin, respectively, with TSC2 mutations, whatever. I'll read the rest because somebody in the medical may be familiar with this or want to know more. You'll understand this because I don't. It's Japanese to me, but anyway, I'll continue. TSC2 mutations accounting for the majority and tending to cause more severe symptoms. These proteins act as tumor growth suppressors, agents that regulate cell proliferation and differentiation. Prognosis is highly variable and depends on the symptoms, but life expectancy is normal for many. The prevalence of the disease is estimated to be 7 to 12 in 100,000. The disease is often abbreviated to tuberous sclerosis, which refers to the hard swellings in the brains of patients, first described by French neurologist Désiré Magloire Bournonville. It's also called Bournonville disease. So, anyway, it's long. If you go, those of you that are into the medical world and you want to know more about this, go to Wikipedia, tuberous sclerosis, and it gives you a whole list of issues. If it affects the heart, it's called rhabdomyomas. So it can affect the entire body depending on where these tumors form. But it has, there's an entire super duper long list. Go to Wikipedia for those who are interested, and especially if you're medical school or something like that. Go to Wikipedia, tuberous sclerosis, and it will give you a whole host of information that will help you understand. Like I said, a lot of that's Japanese to me. Anyway, so it makes a lot of sense now. If that's what's going on, it makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. That describes the abnormal coloration in my skin. That explains why there has been not just one, not just two, but different parts of my body where tumors were forming. That makes sense now. So, I'm not the type to worry about, Like on one hand, it's kind of a pie, like someone took a pie and hit me in the face with it, kind of. But I just discovered this today. It really lifts the fog as to why my body is acting the way it is. Because let's face it, that isn't normal, right? She was careful to say that they are normally benign. She did not say that they could become malignant, but when you have abnormal cell growth, it could easily go malignant. So, as far as I know, I don't have a family history of that. I don't know. It's just weird. So, it's just weird. I remember, like, we have to give doctors more credit than we give them, or physician's assistants more credit than we give them, because one doctor diagnosed my broken foot. I knew I was in a lot of pain. I knew I had discoloration in it when I broke it, not now. It's healed and everything now, but I went to him and he's got this, I don't know what it's called, some kind of, it's almost like, I don't know what it's called. But let's say this is my foot, right? And this is where the break is. We're just going to pretend, right? He ran the, whatever it was, machine, whatever it is. He ran it across where my bones were broken. And I'm like, ow. He said, yep, your foot's broken. And he's a chiropractor. I said, it is? He said, yeah. I said, why does it hurt so bad? Like I said back then. He said, because those two bones that are not even with each other are rubbing. So when he did that, whatever it is, he ran it, like, it's not a scan, but whatever the hell it's called. He ran it across there, it vibrated those bones, and boy, that got my attention. It didn't hurt real bad, but you could tell that something was wrong in there. So I know chiropractors don't get a lot of, props. They're not really respected, so to speak. They're considered quacks. I have learned so much about my body that I know for a fact that anybody who thinks a chiropractor is a quack, they're probably a quack, because you have to educate yourself and know that your entire back contains nerves that controls your entire body. Everything from eye problems to allergies to, I don't know, there's an entire host of things that go wrong if your body's out of alignment. So anything medical cannot be quackery unless it's never been heard of. And because they're licensed by the state, wasn't even going to go there, but I know they don't get any respect at all. Because I've been a chiropractic patient for so long, I know there's no quackery involved in it. Now, did I ever go to a chiropractor who's a quack? Yes. He's all about making money. The science is real, the training is real, but he was abusing his knowledge and he was down to make money off of what's wrong with you, and he wanted me to have an adjustment every day when I had an issue. He wanted me to go every day for 4 days in a row because it was $25 a pop. So you go for 4 days, you got $100. Almost. 5 days, $100, whatever. And so he insisted his office kept pushing me to come in again and again. I said, I cannot. I feel like I've been hit by a train. No. They didn't care about that. You need to come in so we can make more money. They're not saying that, but they don't care that your pain's getting worse because we're over adjusting you. We don't care about that. We try to make money, girl. You ain't making money off of me. I'm going to protect my body. And if my body said, hell no, we're not doing it. My body said no. What part of that is confusing to you? The N or the O? Okay. But there's more to that story. Do you really want to go there? Do you want to go there? There's more to that story. I found out through the grapevine that he also likes to touch patients' breasts. Because when I went to a different chiropractor, she asked me, I said, yeah, I used to go to this doctor over here. She said, did he ever touch your boobs? Well, she didn't say boobs. She said breasts. Do you ever touch your breasts? I said no. She said, well, you're lucky because he likes to do that. Really? Okay. He also tried to smack a girl on her butt at the other job that he had. He worked at a grocery store too. Why, I don't know, because, she was bent over doing something with the mop, the water that was in the bucket so she could mop the floor, and he smacked her on the butt or squeezed her butt. He did something inappropriate, and the boss, her boss, their boss, was just like, it's not that. Didn't say that's not a big deal, but kind of acted like that, because men are allowed to do that. It's okay. It's not a big deal. She said, well, I'll tell you what. You either address him, or you either change my schedule. I'm not working with him anymore, or I'll quit. And I think they put her on a different schedule that's opposite of his schedule, since he couldn't keep his hands to himself. Then I found out eventually that he eliminated himself. I guess he was trapped in his own mind and trapped in the weirdness that was in there, and felt like the only way to escape was to be done with himself. So that's what he did. Wow. And when I looked it up online, I found out through another chiropractor that is what actually happened. But when you look it up online, I can't remember his name. It said that he died. It didn't say how. Well, I found out how by listening to another doctor tell me. It ain't going to be a secret for very long, because I'll find out. And I found out. He didn't just die. He helped himself die. So he should have went to therapy, and that would have helped you a lot. Because you should have learned a long time ago that you can't put your hands on people. You can't just go around grabbing people. What's wrong with you? And society thinks that's okay. Everybody thinks that's okay. It happens within families. I done told y'all that. And family members pretend they don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. You're enabling. You're just as sick as the person doing it. It's just certain things, society, when it pertains to men and doing things out of line, society overlooks it like it's not that big a deal. Not a big deal, my ass. That's illegal. You're assaulting somebody. Okay. Anyway, so I'm scheduled. Back to me. Anyway, so I have to go to ENT. They're going to call me. And I want to wait for this to heal before I go marching in there. Because, obviously that's got to heal. It's going to be raw in there for however long it takes to heal, because it was, cauterized and whatever. So I've got wounds in there that have to heal. But there are more tumors deeper inside the ear. I don't know which one. And the person I was seeing, the PA that I was seeing, doesn't have the tools to go deeper in there. So she's limited to what she could do. That's why she referred me to ENT in the first place. But she also told me, once you see them, tell me what they say. Send me a message on the portal, which is University of Missouri Hospital portal. So you can basically go on there and send a direct message to your medical care team, and it's great. It's almost like texting them, but it's through the hospital website type of deal, You put your username and your password in there, and then you could go in there and send a message directly to whoever you need to send it to. So I wrote myself a note on that so I could remember to do that. Keep her posted on, how things turn out. So one thing can lead to another. It's weird. It's really weird. It's really weird. Like when I had and I'm just going to say this real quick. Like when I had my fibroids in my uterus, I kept it a secret. And I'll tell you why. I had horrific periods. They lasted 7 days. And I had to wear 4 types of protection at the same time. That does not guarantee that you won't have an accident. And when I called the nurse and I talked to her in the doctor's office, she scared the crap out of me, because she said, this was years and years ago, before I actually found out what was really going on. She said, well, we're going to need to do a uterine biopsy to make sure that it's not cancerous. That scared the hell out of me. I don't want nobody going up there cutting stuff out. That scared me. So I avoided. So then everything got worse year after year after year. I'm getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I talked to a doctor's office again. She said the same thing, scared the crap out of me. So I just went silent, never talked about it again. I'm like, I'll just suffer in silence, which isn't really smart, right? And then I casually mentioned it to one of the doctors in my previous, not the doctor, I mentioned it to a girl in the lab. I was getting lab work done. And I casually mentioned it to her. I said, yeah, I've got crazy periods. They last 7 days and they're super heavy. She did not miss a beat. She said, you think you might have fibroids? Huh. No, I haven't thought about that. She said, when was the last time you had a well women check? I said, I don't do that. If nothing's broken, I don't fix it. She said, you need to make one because there could be something going on. That's how I found out there was an issue. My doctor examined me. She was floored. She's like, but they palpate. So they press on your abdomen, and she pressed on my uterus, and I about landed on the ceiling. And she goes, you need to see, I'm going to refer you to another gynecologist. To an actual gynecologist. I said, okay. And I told her, I said, when you examine, can you be gentle? And she's like, because that's not a normal request. Can you be gentle, right? Because if nothing's wrong with you, it shouldn't hurt. You know, a normal exam shouldn't hurt. So she was looking at me kind of weird. She examined me and she goes, your uterus is, I don't know, it was like twice or triple its normal size. She said, your uterus should be this big and yours is, and she pulled out this measuring thing. Mine was like, I think it was double the size it was supposed to be. I said, why is it doing that? She said, I don't know. You need to have it could be a couple of things. You need to have a ultrasound done. So I had a vaginal ultrasound, and it's basically shaped long and narrow, and it's hooked up to the computer like an ultrasound is, and they insert it, and it shows what abnormalities are going on, and that's how they found out. And then I had surgery to get it all taken care of. So women's bodies, they're just driving me crazy. Just all these different things. Why? Okay, why? Too complicated. It's just, I just want to chill and have my body chill. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, you guys take care. Much love, and keep you posted. All right, y'all take care. Bye.